Situated. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. We're back. Welcome back, everybody, to the Who's Accountable podcast. I'm your creator and host of this platform. My name is Mahayel Abdul Kawi. I'm also the founder and a representative of the Accountability Party for Human Rights. What this platform is, this podcast for those who are just tuning in for the first time, this is a place where myself and other members of the Accountability Party for Human Rights, we express our response, not reaction, to events and that happen in our culture, pop culture, that are done by the corrupt, per se, and these responses are a way for us to hold ourselves accountable for the mission that we have in Accountability Party for Human Rights and standing up for the oppressed people across this country. So we, including myself, will be attempting to bring forward a truth for the people, not the truth, but a truth. So with that being said, for this episode, I want to take time to properly react to the announcement of Derek Chauvin's trial. The jury, they did deem him guilty. The man will be seeing bars, and it's a moment to breathe. It's a moment to really take a moment for those that constantly fight this battle for justice every day, for those that participated every day from last summer, the protests every day, doing word, doing community effort to get, not just for George Floyd, but for Breonna Taylor, and to those other victims of, unfortunately, still racist acts that happen in this country. So, it's a very big moment. It's a very big moment for everybody to just soak in and truly witness what this moment is. And this is a moment of accountability. And it's important for everybody to see this moment because I think prior to this, there are so many killings that happen in a year. I forget the exact stat for the killings, but I'll include it down below in the description. But it's not common for accountability to be had in moments where police kill somebody. And I'm not talking about just firing them. A job is replaceable. Skills are replaceable. If you get fired from being a police officer and that limits you from becoming a police officer anywhere else, you can just get a new job. Yeah, it may not be what you wanted, but it's not really full accountability, though. I mean, it's some, but it doesn't cause a person to reflect. It doesn't set the example for anybody when in a capitalistic country, jobs are replaceable and people are replaceable in a job. So this is the first time where I feel like everybody, especially since the impact of George Floyd's killing was so huge, that if he was seen innocent, yes, there would have been fire and chaos in the streets. Yes, that is for sure. But at the same time, for those that, for once in their life, shared something about Black Lives Matter, or supporting black businesses, really getting the word out when they never had before. Can you imagine what would have been that person's response? No, not even response, but their reaction if Chauvin was seen as innocent. They would have been hopeless. when people put a lot of time and effort, which a lot of people have since George Floyd's killing, they feel let down and they give up. And right now more than ever, we afford having people who are just turn their attention onto the war to feel discouraged. You can have losses, but it's very bad to feel discouraged, especially during this class war that we are facing. So I am truly, genuinely happy that everybody, all the people had doubted, can see nobody's playing around anymore. Because we saw for 9 minutes him hold his knee down on his throat. We saw a murder. We didn't have anything else to do last year but to sit around and watch shit. So guess what? Everybody watched that. It was a moment. And I'm glad that he faced what he deserved. But it's frustrating when I see those on the right, and it's unfortunate because I don't like to play into the left, right, Democrat, Republican, because I believe both sides are stupid as fuck. I don't like to make it seem like one side is more evil than the other because, again, to me, they're both the same thing. They just have different approaches. The Green Goblin and the Joker are from two different worlds, but they're still villains. They just have different methods. So I don't want to make it seem like I'm coming at the right, but it is unfortunate but greatly irritating when I see prominent speakers from the right feel like they have to share their I'm edgy and I'm a good old American opinion, which is honestly bullshit. And it's a unified opinion. It's a unified opinion from these selected individuals that truly believe Derek Chauvin should have been innocent, or that he's only found guilty so that way people don't riot. Do you know what you're doing when you say things like that? Especially with your audience that clings onto your every fucking word. When you tell people that the only reason why a murderer is seen as a murderer is to prevent chaos in the streets, it truly takes away the fact that he's a murderer. Nobody in the streets went out with the intent to murder anybody like Chauvin did. Because if it wasn't George Floyd, it would have been somebody at some fucking point. The man needs help. So how can people really have the balls to stare into a camera, to stare into whoever's face, and honestly say, that man is convicted because the woke justice system didn't want to see riot in the street? That's like saying I'm going to lie to somebody because I want to avoid this outcome. Fam, for one, and this is why it's crazy, because he's not even innocent. Like, we all saw the fucking video. My little sister, 7 years old, knows of the video. Everybody saw And the culture raised on violence, fam, we know what fucking violence is. We know what murder is. We literally watch how many movies a year where there's murder. We know how to identify it. It's very obvious. To a fucking dog, it's obvious, bro. Come on. So how do you have the balls to even act like this man is innocent, but then to feed into it as if he deserves to just walk away free? I don't know if you're truly fucking stupid or the system really got you brainwashed. And I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt and say that you're brainwashed, because even then you can unbrainwash somebody. I pray to God. Because honestly, I don't want to hate the right. I don't want to hate the left. I don't want to hate none of these sides. I wish we could all get along and hold hands. I just don't understand the thought process that some people have when it comes to these matters. Accountability only works if universally we can all agree on it. How is Derek Chauvin ever supposed to face accountability in this beautiful moment of accountability when people are debating what he fucking did? It doesn't make any sense. It's not a matter for discussion. And I'm not even speaking from this perspective as an Afro-American male who constantly has that same fear whenever I see the police, even as a child. And it's not because of the your adults in my environment fueling the hatred between blacks and whites. No, this comes from living a real experience in this country. It comes from growing up and seeing the acts of segregation, the oppression forced onto people that look like me. And where me right now, who still has that fear to a degree, I'm able to step back and tell you something even deeper. George Floyd, him dying, is not just a race. It's not just a killing that enforces racism. It's a class war casualty. Because if he was a black celebrity, that would not have happened. He would have still faced the tool that is racism, maybe being pulled over. But his wealth and his status means that he has more life than George Floyd, who had a fucking daughter, who's part of the community. Part of the community. And you took that away. Why? Because your elite tell you that this type of man, type of person is a threat to your existence and your way of fucking life? Fuck you, man. Stop debating this shit. This is why we're never going to progress as a society, because we're debating obvious acts of murder. I stand for human rights. If that was a white man, a Latino, an Asian man on the ground being choked out, best believe we would still be fucking upset. Because nobody should have to watch a police officer whose job it is to serve and protect literally do the exact opposite. So in this moment, for those that have been fighting, take a moment to breathe. Take a moment to relax. Take a moment to understand that through perseverance, those who commit the crime will face accountability with the right momentum. And to those who are debating it, I need you to step back and find whatever common denominator you need that takes you out of your brainwashed ass and look at the world from a bigger perspective and see that you don't have to be white, black, gay, straight, Christian, Muslim, left, right, to see that what he did was just wrong. And then if it's the third option, which I hope is not, and that we as a society have become just so desensitized to murder and death that we just take it as not even like I care about its outcome, but more so the fact that why does it even matter? It's just another life lost. That's a conversation for another day. But if that is the realm of where people are at, then and then what I say about this being a spiritual war is more true than ever. And inshallah, that's not the case.